Hey, we're back at Chaplain Chat. I'm actually not at my recording studio, Cafe 210. We're at the home, and Debbie's here. Welcome again, Debbie.
Thank you, John.
Okay, it's really good. Debbie, where in the heck am I going? And where are Gail and I going in October?
You were going to Israel with me.
Israel.
Yes.
Debbie, why do we want to go to Israel?
Well, it is a transformational journey into your faith. It's amazing. It's amazing. And Gail and I connected randomly through a local social media platform, I think, a couple of years ago, and have been chatting for a few years. And now Gail and John are going to Israel with me. We have a local 501c3 nonprofit ministry that originated in 2017. We've taken 5 groups to the Holy Land since then. We now go to Greece, Israel, Jordan, and Egypt to follow the whole story of the Bible. We start with Moses generally in Egypt, go to the Promised Land in Jordan. We go to Israel and follow Jesus. And now our most recent addition is that we go to Greece and follow the journey of Paul. So
Wow.
it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Now we're just going on the Israel part, Gail and I.
Yes.
But you can do all of them together or just sections.
You can choose Israel plus any of the other countries, and we have a combination of travelers doing every combination you can imagine each time that we go. We go usually every year. We're kind of moving to an every other year format. So we have a trip planned for this fall, which John and Gail are joining us on, and then we will go again in 2026. We have a couple of unusual trips planned for 2025, one for alumni of our previous trips and one for to celebrate the 100th birthday of one of our travelers who has gone with me every single time. So it's amazing.
Debbie, people keep when we keep saying we're going to do it, people go, "Oh, I don't know if it's safe." Talk about that.
I just got back from 10 days in Israel, and part of the reason for me going there was to be able to come home and tell the travelers that are going with us this year and people that are thinking about going what the reality of tourism in Israel is today. And I can tell you that it is perfectly safe in all the places that we go. There is no reason to be concerned. They welcome us, they welcome our tourism dollars, and it is honestly going to be the best time ever to go this fall because there are no other tourists there except a few random groups. There's some people from the Philippines, and there's some Jewish solidarity groups there, and there's a few others. But for the most part, Christian travelers are not going to Israel right now because the tour leaders are not planning trips. And it is amazing to be in the old city of Jerusalem when there are no people there, and you can walk the Via Dolorosa without bumping into people and feeling like a sardine in a can, to go into these churches and these places without having stood in the sun for 2 hours before you can even get in the front door. It is an incredible experience to do that, and I've been blessed to be there twice during this time, once during COVID and then once just recently. And I'm excited for the travelers that are going because we will be able to do so much more and get more value out of our day. Instead of waiting in lines, we will be going to more sites and having some flexibility to add things to our day if we choose to do that.
Debbie, this what's exciting is you work with the group. We're part of that group, and you're going to help us prepare. I think even this Sunday, isn't it?
Yes.
What are you going to be doing to help prepare us for this, our group?
Well, one of the things I learned in 2018 when we took the first group is how much I didn't know about taking a group on a trip. And so all the things that I have learned through that first year and through suggestions from people and actually following some other companies that do takes groups is that it's a better trip if people are well prepared. And we overload them with information either through the website, through sharing packing lists, what to wear every day, what to take, what not to take, cautioning them about taking too much, what the language is, what the currency is. We send out a Traveler Tuesday, which some people, it's basically a bulletin with a topic of the day or topic of the week. And some people think it's too much. I don't need to know that. But once they have been there, they appreciate knowing what type of credit card to take or what the currency is or what they should do about tipping or maybe that, what kind of shoes they really did need. They don't need 5 pairs of shoes. They really need 2 and what type they need. And do they need dress clothes or not dress clothes or, those types of things. So we go through the basics. This Sunday, as John mentioned, we're starting a study called Hayasod, which in Hebrew means foundations. and it is presented by the First Fruits of Zion, which is a Messianic Jewish nonprofit based in Jerusalem. I have been there. I've met with those people, and they have a really good ministry and a product. And they offer this class called Hayasod. It's an online video study, or it's a video study and a workbook. And for me, it is not only helping the people to connect the Jewish roots with our Christian heritage, which is really important to know the things like what does an eye for an eye really mean? It doesn't necessarily mean what secular the world says it means. It means what it meant in the days of the Torah and the Old Testament. And so we learn about things like that, which helps people to connect better when they are in these places in Israel. But it's also, the side benefit is it helps people to meet each other and get to know each other and figure out the personalities and figure out who's going to fit and who maybe needs to work on things a little bit, or we talk about things like bus etiquette and some of that in our Traveler Tuesday.
Okay.
We also have a meeting to kind of pull all these things together. But the connection element is really important to me, so that I don't want anyone to show up at the airport and not know who they're traveling with. So we have people that aren't local to us. So those people we try to bring in with communications, or maybe a video call, or they just know that they're going to be the one off and they just have to fit in somehow. But for the local people, we really want everybody to get together and feel like they're a family going on a trip together. We all have the same purpose and the same mission of getting to know Jesus better and our biblical heritage. So these studies are more than just a study. It's an opportunity for people to connect.
Okay, I wanted to share with you, by the way, that's we just got them in the mail, Gail and I, our
Awesome.
walking sandals, no
Awesome.
metal on it.
Perfect.
But, yeah, okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I do have just two more questions, and one is, can people still go on the October adventure?
Yes, we just had 2 people register yesterday, actually.
Oh, really?
For the trip, going to Israel, Jordan, and Egypt, which is wonderful. We do have a couple spots for Greece. We can take a few more for Israel, a few more for Jordan and Egypt. We don't need to take any more people, but we are still open and available if anyone does want to go. The next trip would be in 2026. That would be open to the regular public.
And if they want to talk with you, let's do the phone number thing real quick.
Sure. My phone number is 559-740-9436, or you can also contact me through the website, which is travelerjourneys.life.
Okay, let's do the phone call. 559
740-9436.
Debbie, you also sent to us, and this is neat. And if they call you, they'll probably you send it to them. Your last trip, you gave us a little taste of where we're going. It was really because she was actually there, and we got to see some of the spots we're going to see. We got to meet our tour guide. At the end of that, at the end of that little thing, he's at the airport and says, "I'll be waiting to see you." And I was talking, yeah, right. But he will be, won't he?
He will
and
be.
You will be too.
Yes.
As we get off the plane.
Yes, I will be there to meet you when you get through the major journey of the Tel Aviv airport. When you finally exit and you can see the exit sign, I will be there with our tour guide waiting for you.
So, Debbie, if people want to even get that video that you sent us, you can send it to them too.
Absolutely.
Which I think is really neat because you actually get to see and you're there and showing us certain things. All right, one last question. Because at the beginning it says, "Why should I go?" And you said because. What was the word?
It's a transformational journey into your faith.
And last few days, I'm needing some transforming in my faith, which is a good thing. You said when you went for the first time, what was the transforming? I mean, the whole event planning is, but you said you were at someplace and that was for you.
The Sea of Galilee. And if you go to the website, travelerjourneys.life, and you go to the section about the June 2024 trip, there's a video about the Sea of Galilee. And it's very emotional for me in that video, and it is right now. I planned a trip that year for 50 people to go to Israel, and I had never been there before myself. And I was questioning what was happening and what I was doing. And all these people had trusted me because most of them knew me. Most of them were from my church at that time. And and I didn't know what I was doing. And we get out on the boat on the Sea of Galilee, and it's quiet and peaceful, and we're all contemplating, all the miracles that happened there and all the Jesus events that happened on the sea with the disciples. And the soft music is playing, and then the music starts escalating, and people start dancing, and I'm still sitting there in the corner going, "What am I doing?" And our tour guide, who I had met 2 days before at the airport, came over and gave me a big hug. And someone snapped a picture of that moment, and I still have it, and it's very special to me. He's Jewish, had never met him. He didn't know anything about me. He guides people every week, just rotates them through. And he told me that God had called me to this purpose and that I was worthy in his sight, and that not many people get called to do this particular job. And it just washed away all of my insecurities and all of my anxiety about the rest of the week to come. And it was an amazing transformation in my heart for just confirming that my trust in God was well placed and that I didn't have to rely on myself. I could just rely on him. And it was an amazing rest of the journey. We had already been through Egypt and Jordan, and those are kind of crazy places to go to. And now we're in Israel, and we had 22 people in Egypt and Jordan, and then 28 more showed up at the Tel Aviv airport to join us, and they were exhausted and tired and looking at me like, "What have you brought me to?" And we blended together and integrated, and the rest of the week was just amazing for these people. I think of one woman, I was just talking about her yesterday with a mutual friend. She was probably in her early 70s at the time and had a few mobility issues, but she wanted to go to Israel her whole life. Her husband stayed home, and she went on her own with this mutual friend. And we were so thankful that Carrie went. I had known her for a long time, but she really trusted God to help her with the physical issues of getting there and getting around. And 6 years later today, she is a year into recovery from a stroke. And she's really struggling, and her husband's struggling, and we all wonder what her future is going to be like. But her husband said this weekend that had she not gone to Israel, she would have given up. That motivated her and encouraged her to keep up with her physical strength and mobility issues and not give up, because she was in Israel and God was giving her the strength to move forward. So I think that's probably the only reason she's alive today, is that she trusted God to get her there and to keep her motivated. So there's all kinds of stories like that, but I'm really glad that Carrie was able to go.
Debbie, you just triggered something. Now, you go to Gateway, but we all go to different churches in Visalia. That's what we'll be doing this. Isn't there a guy that's 99?
Yes, in fact, that's a mutual friend I was just talking about. Norris Jernigan is 99. He's a World War II veteran. He served on the Enola Gay ground team in World War II. He has been with me on every trip since 2018. He's going again this year, and we have a 100th birthday party planned for him.
Wow.
In Israel in June of 2025. And I'm working on the guest list for that right now. So
That's phenomenal.
incredible.
Well, this is great. I think this is fine. And folks, I want to encourage you. You don't even just to call Debbie. She's great. You can leave messages. She gets back with you if you're interested in even getting your last trip there. And guys, I'm looking forward for the transformation that's going to go on in our lives. And thank you
You're welcome.
for being in our home. And thank you for watching Chaplain Chat.